happy. Be happy. Relax. But all of you in the retreat? Just for 1 hour retreat, or what is this? There's a program going on in the evening, but I didn't expect. This is not this. There's no shortcut method, you know. Just so easy few hours, the last parts of the retreat, and you get anyway. It's okay, because I'll be only spending like 1 hour. But anyway, but the problem is the ones who have already stayed 3-4 days. This is the time I have told you, like, you know, the cake is just about to bake. So now you just think, okay, a little smell and just open, no good. You have to remain, do strictly. Try to be alone, the no talking thing. And just until tomorrow, because tomorrow only I'm going to give the last, this parachute jump I told you, know. I was going to give the parachute jump today, but I felt that you're really going to jump today. You're going to go out of this place. You have already planned to stay until tomorrow. So who have decided? Is the shortest, you know, 5 days is something that people force me to do this. This is a 15-day, 21-day at least I spend with my teacher. So I have made it like some chance for you to get that actual insight. The technique is all laid down with the Buddha's teaching, how to apply. But I told you to rush. I don't know, most of the faces I'm seeing, all the retreat people have gone, or what happened? One, how many of you in there? 1, 2, okay. How many of you have left but they can't raise their hand? Anyway, what to do? All right. Anyway. So why did you stay? I mean, I don't know, after the Pindapath I thought all of you will be going, and they all seem to remain, but good, it's okay. All right, even this 1 hour, I hope, because I have some things for the retreat people, and you can also, you know, kind of get this thing of that, some so it's like, how many of you have finished the Salayatana Vagga? All of you? Almost, okay, that's all right. Who couldn't finish? All right. No, were you also there? Your seat has been taken by this gentleman. No problem. So this let go is, you know, another practice. You have no seat. You can sit down somewhere. Sorry. No, there's no particular hierarchy here. Don't worry. So it's just who comes first. And anyway, today program I had to change it to something, you know, what to do to make it a kind of a mix. Not very easy for me to suddenly. So we were actually, just to give an idea for people who have just come, so we are all interested in the world. Some is searching through science, and even I used to search through science because that was the thing that was available for me when I was also young in another part of the world, and we didn't have even this kind of Buddhist support in southern part of Africa. So there, with some contacts with I could say lecturers. My father was in the university, so some the people who came for dinner and all that, like I had time to talk. I was a young boy then, 13, 14, 15. So I was very curious and wanted to make a kind of I want to know. I knew there's something, in the world, something, it goes in certain order. One day I will get to know it. I was thinking like this. So I got interested in especially Einstein theory of relativity, and it fascinated me. And in this line I happened to mix it up with other, because like whatever I read from my mother's, like she was very religious, so she had this old text, and so I tried to make a world picture out of all this information, even the Bible, everything I was reading those days. The sound is not coming. I was in a nice forest area taking my dana. It was very nice for me there, and suddenly I see all the cars still here. The vehicle. So what happened to them? They are all here. Okay. Well, he's also here, no? Like yesterday. Today you get, but how can I in 1 hour? So they really told me 1 hour they will make a signal, because I'll have to prepare for, prepare means I do my normal routine meditation. When I go, and then I go for the program. It's not just this speech. This is kind of the modern day, and what people have been doing, this has been put upon me. Speaking, all this. But we are yogis, I tell people. We are meditators, yogis, so it's a bit of different life. So suddenly, sometimes when I give up that train of thought, just thinking, suddenly I go to a blackout. But maybe now I'm making an excuse for that. Could be some damage also due to some exertions. I was in the Himalayas a lot, so with altitude and all that, could be. But I don't worry about it. After all, important thing is that you have in general let go everything and not seen anything important to preserve in this body or in your consciousness, or things in your feelings and perceptions. We have known that these things have to be let go. So, I would like to, anyway, I will share something, I hope, in general, and I will touch for the retreat people.
Bluetooth disconnected.
So,
Bluetooth pairing.
So there's this shock treatment suddenly. This is kind of a check, what level of your... I'm joking, right? I am old man, so I don't feel much, It's like my senses are like numb. Anyway, okay. So in different ways we are trying to search, and I also had a kind of a world picture those days. And some things gave me really interesting, like even science, and as well as some things I read with my mother's literature, it was told, it is said, 1,000 years on earth is one day in those heavens. So this kind of, this looks fairy tale if you just read those old texts. So from my mother's books, I read these things, and then I saw a theory of relativity, the possibility that time could be dilated, time could be stretched. That it is a proven thing now, like subatomic particles near the speed of light, like in 1950 something in Geneva, they already proved it, which Einstein brought out. So that was very interesting for me, that these worlds do exist. It doesn't mean when scientists find these laws that these laws start to work. It has been already working. Only we are now perceiving it or getting to know that, getting to discover. So this made me have faith in those planes, and I knew with faith you are connected. In those days also I knew. So I have been thinking about these things as a young boy, and I neglected my studies. So some miracle had to happen to pass my exams. So it happened like that I started predicting. I remember one, in the midnight, I used to have the past papers and English language, English literature, the old papers and syllabus. And sort of when I felt I have faith through this, that those worlds exist, I feel I'm connected, and I had a feeling that these worlds are powerful, those beings there. And so if I just think about it, it should happen. So there, when I felt connected, I sort of approximated or the essay titles, which is like 40% marks. So then next day, I told my father to tell the tutor to write under. Now my father don't know what's happening in the night, and so he went, and the tutor also wondered, why have I not studied all? It's just focusing on my English is fast. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope so. Because we had only one American in our international school, I think, one or two, not too many. He was good in basketball. I used to tell he's the boy from California, that's why he can play good basketball, dribbling and all that. And we had from all over the world, but mostly from UK and all this.
Bluetooth connected.
So now it's better, right? You can manage. I don't see that kind of. All right. So anyway, then my tutor wrote these 2 essays, and the other day I went for my exam, and then I see everybody in the world, they're sitting IGCSE. I don't know. This is
Bluetooth disconnected.
Cambridge
Bluetooth
syndicate.
pairing.
So then what happened? What's happening here? It's it doesn't matter. Today's the last day. Maybe this also.
Bluetooth connected.
Okay. They're trying to record, I think, something. They're not good. They're also coming from another part of the planet, So they are not used to this material world.
Bluetooth disconnected.
That's why they help.
Bluetooth pairing.
Who are very good in these material things, they don't care about spiritual nothing. Who have so they are more monk than me. Remember this. I am not joking about this also. That's why they are really interested in even though in this part of the world. They are coming from a special planet. They happen to be in America, but they have that noble soul. That's why I don't care whether they cannot manage or not. Though anyway, when I kind of found that, I went and I saw these 2 essay titles, English language, English literature, and I was so happy. I thought, like the universe was in my hand. I didn't care about school, nothing, because this was something I was yearning to find out more. So then I reasoned out those days. There's no particle that can go faster than the speed of light was taken as constant in Einstein. Okay, so if something goes faster than the speed of light, I assume it goes back in time. So mathematically, it shows that. Okay, practically, because the mass increases when it's accelerated to, so it's not practical for a normal. Now I heard recently that they have found some particle going faster than the speed of light. So I said, that's now I have found it long before. And also it relates to, then I related it to memory. A function of memory is that higher speeds. Okay, this is how I thought. So then more speeds are like meditation. You increase your perception strong, so it's faster and faster. And I sort of assume that one day there's such a speed that time will stop. Something like this. So this I had like a theoretical experience, idea. But so even with that idea, I wanted to go to study. I want to study astrophysics, thinking that that will be in the line where I could do more research about this. So actually, I was to come to Princeton from South Africa to Princeton that time because Einstein was there, and then astrophysics was there for undergrad, I think, as a major. Then while waiting for my waiting to leave, I had another experience. Those days I used to go for walks, and suddenly in this solitude, there was this, I don't know, like a flash, like just came to my mind, what are the causes for like any phenomena or something like this, like I saw like a time. Those days I used to see things like a time is something, time is there. And what in time only things come and go like that, but not even clearly like that. Just idea came. What are the causes? And with that, suddenly, like I don't know how to say, like in the mental picture, like it was like one, that whatever rise in time definitely ends. Okay, so in that it came to my mind that for this understanding, there's no beginning. Therefore, there's no end. Wow, this is it. This is how I felt. And then there was in the mind's eye, there was a picture of a monk. That these people like this, I must become like that. This just cover their body, this all gone, everything is disappearing, nothing will last, and just to cover the body, and I must become like that. And also stay in silent places like this. That place was very silent, it's like a farmland, and there's a Caledon river, so I used to go towards the river for walks from my father's home. So this, I didn't know about the monasteries, why they are made in areas where there's silence. Because in silence only, we know that we have heard that God speaks, right? That's a very true statement. God speaks in silence. So that means intuition, all that is God's messages. Okay, if you put the language God. All right, it reveals about the truths of our underlying being, our underlying consciousness and everything. Okay, it reveals the truths, and with that truth, there is connected this passion. We have passion because we are living in an illusionary perception. We have a delusion. Our way of perceiving is, not with the right kind of attention and investigation. So it's not related with wisdom. It's not about the actual final truths and reality of our, experience. So it's a kind of a superficial experience always. So with that, we can know if we are attracted or feel, repelled or like that kind of reactions happening in us, then we are perceiving things unwisely and with delusion. So this is happening. So anyway, after a few months we went to Sri Lanka also, and then I didn't want to go Princeton or anywhere really, because I saw the longest thing that will serve, because everything looked like, even the mountains looked, they're going like jelly, it will be disappearing. So the longest thing that will survive in Princeton would be, I don't know, those I saw like those stone lecture halls with granite, so solid. If that's also going to just disappear, what's this degree and everything there? So I have no whatsoever interest. And then I became very solitary and so my father was worried. I told that evening I want to be a monk. I didn't tell all what happened, but everything started to change after that. I had automatic meditation coming, and so I still in lay clothes. So I went to Sri Lanka. Still I went to parties, disco also, when my relations took me. I didn't know. Later I realized I can say no. First I didn't know. When they took me, I went with them. So there are many hilarious experiences I had initially with this kind of going there. Then I realized I had no need for me to go for all this, and I stopped one by one, and so the journey started. Then I met this German monk. He gave me the direction to the old texts of the Buddha as a reference. With that I realized, this is the same, very similar to that, and it really put my mind into that. And there are also then I found very easily now the way how to trigger these experiences is already very clearly there. So I tell people these words what the Buddha says, they have visions in it. So unfortunately it's not used that way today because people are not practicing. So it's not a whole load of knowledge you have to learn. It opens up entire different perception. It's actually it awakens a wisdom eye which is sleeping in all of us in the frontal cortex. Okay, so in the frontal cortex, actually here, not only frontal cortex, on your forehead, in the ancient times, it's well known your destiny is written there. They say like that. I don't know in the Christian or the English or the any ancient old understanding. Now, everybody has some lines here. Okay, so there are some in India. It's very famous for about karma and all these things. So now also it has become diluted. So I had some encounter with some special people. So they happened to, they look at my forehead and they would say, So once I never forget, they told me, it was 2017. Before that, like 2015, said like 2017, this period that Swamiji, they call me Swamiji there in India. So you know the term Swamiji? Anyone? No. It's like priest, or I don't know how to say it in, so they don't call me monk also. They, according to their way of renunciation. So they call me, he tell me, when you're like 17, you will not have time to come to this area. You'll be traveling all over, And when I was giving teachings in 2017 and going, I was remembering him. So how true it is. So now is another session like this. This karma, how the karma is going, how they were very expert in India already, and how karma is the one that creates consciousness. That's a very important one. I will tell you that because consciousness is hardly understood in the modern times, in the modern, I would say, knowledge and civilization. You still try to locate it, like physically, part of the brain or neuron, how it's working. So neuroscience is still researching, trying to locate it. It will never be found that way, because if you want to find what you call the empirical, I don't know, it's a very unfamiliar, long time I have not been in this thing, so my vocabulary to explain, but if you try to find it, in a thing that is using body, but is separated from body also. A body is necessary for consciousness, but body, you don't, you actually, body is needed for consciousness. Consciousness can never rise without a body. All right. So, but consciousness, consciousness not in the body. It is taking as a base or instrument or like a kind of a medium for it to arise. So the consciousness is something separate. In the consciousness, there are factors. It's made up of feeling, perception, and reaction. You know you're conscious when you start to feel. And immediately, simultaneously, when you feel, you will judge the feeling as pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. That is called perception. And when you perceive that pleasant, there's another thing that happens in consciousness, a reaction. With attachment, you will react. It's unpleasant with aversion. If it's neutral, according to what we know, it's called delusion. You react with delusion. So the reaction part is where if you react only thought level, it will become mind karma. So it's very nice, some idea from Edgar Cayce. Have you heard about that? His background, very interesting. He was a Christian. He used to go into an unconscious state, and then he used to tell people, like even the Crusaders time, what they did and how they kept some things internally, thought-wise, how it is now manifesting in the modern times in New York or in some places where they are doing their job, and how they are facing with the working place, and with their husbands, wives, sort of how they are getting this kind of husband, wife. Some are not getting married, some are getting married, but then like all these complications. So he's to answer when there's no solutions and some diseases which can't be cured. So all sort of problems people are facing. I know one, because we are near New York, I always tell, it was about a lady from New York. She came, she was very spiritual, I heard. And she came to meet him, and she had some problem, and she came to meet him. And then she was earning her living by, she was supposed to be very beautiful, so she had a very beautiful hand. She used to show her hand, and there was jewelry that for advertisements and all that. The hand was used for advertisements, so that's how she earned a living. So she should have had a very special, beautiful hand. So what happened, when the reading was done, he was unconscious, then somebody was recording what he was saying. She has been a nun in her previous lives. And that's why she's so spiritual now. And the reason why she has that beautiful hand was that in that monastery or nunnery, it's not, I don't think this was told so that nuns will work very hard, I hope not. It's not, but these are, I think, real. There Buddha says also very nicely, when you have compassion, you have beauty. That's why the reason for beautifulness. And if you're generous, you become rich, like that. There's in simple terms how karma works. So she has been cleaning the toilets and everything, like not feeling yuck, like really feeling faith, this is opportunity and so on, something like that. So there are a lot of stories like that, about the chastity belt those days they had in the ancient time, how, internally how they, and now how they have sexual problems in the present life. Very interesting. I think this is because I had a hedonistic classmate. I met him in Bangkok on the way. I was coming from Nicosia, and when I was 21 years old, that time I was coming back to Sri Lanka. And then I stayed with him for some time, and he has read this. He's go for every party, every kind of disco. So, but he has read this book, Edgar Cayce, and he got the thought after reading this that he wants to be a monk. But at least the thought is great. It's not easy physically. Buddha says at least the thought is good. It starts like that. I keep on entertaining you all, with words. So the retreat is, I heard people started talking. It's not a good news for me. I'm sure no one knows, that's not ended. Okay, especially once we have been now spending like 3-4 days, this is a time, you might get some results. So as I told you, like you had worked so hard, like 3 days, and I'm sure even now the 3rd, 4th day you feel comfortable. You don't mind even staying, I'm sure. Do you? Staying more even. You have that sort of the initial difficult feeling is gone. And you can see, I told you don't have to go for body shop. You're looking like shining, Yeah, really. It's not a joke thing. You should have taken a photograph. If someone sees you now out, who knows you, they might want to come for the retreat. It happens like that. Yeah, it's like the husband was against the wife going for a retreat. And when she came back, next retreat, husband is there. It's not, it really happens. So then I want that to happen. What is all this hard work? There has to be real tangible transformation. If you go better, you must go better off, when you're leaving here. You can't go worse. Only parties and other things you go worse, hangover and all these things. So here you can't have hangover. You can't. Okay. This detox you in different ways, layers, invisible, mystical way. Things are happening. People are doing silent retreats without me in UK, and I'm sure it will happen with no need for me to be there. As long as you have those basic things done, the mystical forces will work because you are in touch. You are doing that work. So anyway, I want you to. I want you all to continue. Okay. Tomorrow, how many of you are planning to go today evening? Now you, of course, you're coming and going. Who stayed for like 3-4 days? Who decide to go today evening? Okay. Did you plan already until tomorrow? And now you decided, or how is it? Because I'll be giving that last discourse tomorrow morning. Okay, yeah. I didn't know. I thought responsibly you will stay. But now I decided, then I will extend it tomorrow evening, so some people will cancel their flights and everything. ඒක එහෙම හිතාගෙන ආවේ. ඇත්තද? එහෙම හිතාගෙන ආවද ඒ කියන්නේ? හරි. එතකොට ඒක කමන්නේ ඒක ප්‍රශ්න නැහැ හැබැයි මං මෑනියෝ හින්දා දැන් අද කියවන්නේ නැත්තම් 3-4 දිනක් මෙයයි ඒක හින්දා මම අර පැරෂූට් ජම්ප් එක කියන එක අර අන්තිම පිටුවේ තියෙනවා ඒක තනියම කියවන්න අද පොත් ඉවර කරලා ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ බොහොම හොඳයි ඒ ඇති ඔය පේන්නේ නිකන් අර හඳක් වගේ ඔව් අර නේ ඔය ඇති හැබැයි අද කීයටද යන්නේ හන්දෑවේ දැන් ගෙදරින් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ එතකොට ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ ගියොත් නම් පස්සේ යන්නේ හරි කමක් නෑ ඔය හිටියා හොඳටම හිටියා ඔක ලොකු දෙයක් කොහොම හරි දවස් මේ මොනවාද 4 මේ පැනගෙන හිටියක 5ක් හරි 5නේ මේක හොඳටම ඇති එහෙමනේ ප්ලෑන් කරන් ආවේ නේද එහෙමයි ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ යන ලංකාවට යන ගමන කලින් පෙබරවාරි ප්ලෑන් කරලා තිබුණේ එතකොට මැයිනේ රීට්‍රීට් එකට එන්නේ ඔව් හරි කමන්නේ ඒකට දැන් මම ඇට්ලීස්ට් එක දවසකින් මිස් ඒක එච්චර දෙයක් නෙමෙයි හැබැයි හිතාගෙන who have decided to come and they suddenly don't decide like that. Okay. Tomorrow I will tell you all that last which my teacher gave me. Actually, it's like told the time has come. What he meant was under the time must come. He classified certain suttas. I found that this is like the last thing we are training for. Okay, time has come for what? For what? Refreshments or to go home or what? No. What do you think? What can you guess? Anyone can guess? What does that mean? Yeah, death. Time has come. So beforehand to something related with that. That's like a big exam we have to pass. So all this training is done. That means actually these practices are all done where you die before death comes. Even the ordination is created that way. Actually, the Eastern philosophy, all that was based on knowledge of life. Okay, they had good knowledge of life. Now we have good knowledge of living. Okay, so we know how to live well, to get the food, get the shelter, and use the resources like that. We have now been very master in that. But regarding life, we are very confused today. If we have only this knowledge only, so even about life is related with what we are conscious of. So realizing consciousness itself is knowing about life. And more you get to know about it, more you will have peace. And this thing, now we know that in the practices, we really deeply see that nothing to be taken seriously and it's not really very real. So, in this short time, I can do one sutta. Okay. I don't know where this, I came at, I have mark කරපු පොත තියෙනවද? The marking book. Ask them whether they have the marked. So tomorrow I will do the morning, then you're free. Try to keep silence, or try definitely keep the silence, and keep reading and go alone, to one of the trees or go somewhere, be alone. And in my practice, I remember until the last day with my teacher, I was like that. In the last day, only certain clarity happened to come. So you might miss that opportunity, and it can change your life like nothing. It can change your life. If you see the feet of the Buddha, it will change you. Feet means it's nothing too physical to see. You will have faith of him, even more than seeing his body. It is actually, you recognize through the instruction and the universal principle that he has become. That's why he's Dhammaraja, means king of nature, king of Dhamma. King of Dhamma means he has become the Dhamma. Dhamma and him is like Dhamma means, the teaching is the same. So when through this teaching, if you get some glimpse and understanding, that's the person who will really understand who the Buddha is. Buddha, if he looks like a Buddha, it doesn't mean he's a Buddha. It is actually a kind of a realization, a special perception, a special vision that makes him, that gives him that title. So that's a very special, so if anyone gets that, it's an ultimate wisdom you can get. It's related with, finally what's going on in us, what we are, and even regarding the knowledge of, I told something about, if you can go through one of the beginning, YouTube clips, I explained about consciousness, there were about rebirth, how the rebirth process stops when the consciousness, how it's first conditionally arising, and when the conditions are taken away, how it cannot arise. I think this is one my teacher used to explain. So these things already I explained in the programs so that people get familiar with this thinking, and so that if they are meeting me, they will be driven to, or they get a good support. මහත්තයා සීට් එකක් නැද්ද අද? මහත්තයා ඉන්නවනේද හෙට වෙනකන් කොහොමද? ඒගොල්ලන් බොහොම earnest students ලා ටිකක්. Okay, page number 339. I think you all read. I don't think we have copies for. Actually, I would suggest, do you all come for like lectures and everything here? Or do you go for any Buddhist classes? Huh?
First time here.
First time here? What made you come first time here?
Friend of mine.
Brought you here? Okay. So who is the friend who brought you here?
Chatri.
Chatri means one, where, which one?
She's in the kitchen.
She's in the?
She's in the kitchen.
Kitchen, okay. So she brought you so she can be in the kitchen. What is it? She's busy, I think, arranging something. Okay. Anyway. That's a good excuse, that on her behalf. But I would suggest if you want to really go through the Buddha's, there's one book called Word of the Buddha by Jnanati Loka Mahatera. He's a German author who taken from main concepts of the Buddha's teaching and then put into this one book. So it's a small book. So that's something like introduction and a handbook for all your, if you want to, But it's also good because it's like you have to do the meditation. What I say is you have to enjoy. You have to learn to enjoy peacefulness in mind. Yeah, Andy. So you have to word of the Buddha. Okay, by Jnanatiloka Mahat. Yes. All right. It's a different cover, but okay. Amazon, no, what? I don't know. I heard they can buy it from Amazon. I only know the name Amazon. There's something like we can get it from there. Okay? I think so. Yeah, you have those main kind of you see, but many people know they get they have got used to, I call, intellectually getting even like explanations. So it's like you are going to again you are enjoying concepts and all that. Now we are supposed to go beyond conceptualizing. Okay, so taking the mask out. So that's why I said these things will create visions. For it to create vision, it's Buddha explains like that, like this. For example, you have like a egg, and inside the egg you have a small baby chick. So it will knock, but it depends on what that it will break, it will crack. It depends on the incubation given by the mother, right? Mother hen. She has to sit on the egg, then with the warmth only, the small chick will be able to break through the shell. Okay, same way it's given. So same way we have a thing called where we incubate our brain or our mind. It is called your lifestyle actually. Your lifestyle, your general lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle physically one thing, and the other one is mental health. If you have a mental healthy lifestyle, you will not be stressed out. You will not be, with having all these other diseases as well. So what happened? So I have told there's a way where you have like two types of pleasures. One, with the sense experiences you get a pleasure. Okay, that's we are normally used to from food or any other enjoyments. And there's another one where we discipline ourselves and discipline and control our senses, our mind, and then also we get a pleasure. Okay, because this is a universal law in the world that like if the craving you have, the more the craving you have, the more the suffering. So even a person who has a lot of craving, how much you give him, he's not satisfied. So when you satisfy your cravings, it don't decrease, it increase more. That's how the mind works. It's like drinking salt water when you're thirsty. Alright, so that's why Buddha says, Tanha paccaya dukkhang upajjati, Tanha nirodha dukkhang na upajjati. So when Buddha says, he doesn't tell to frighten people or anything like that. He's so honest, so true, and he tells a universal truth. Alright, so when he says like that, this will happen. So what happens in general population, general people? They have, you can see in them, a sadness without a reason. Okay? A sadness without a reason. Normally we feel happy only through like a joke. Okay, some kind of enjoyment. It's all stimulation. Without the sense stimulation, there is that real happiness coming. Happiness means a kind of you could say content. You can just sit and wait. People might think you're mad, but now you don't want to laugh. Nobody wants to laugh now because they know that's also bad. Okay, am I right? No, it's okay. You can laugh. Okay, all right. So, this other one is called, when you develop that, you have a happiness without a reason. Your happiness without a reason. You will laugh without a reason. It's not that you try to laugh, you have the inner kind of, it comes with purity also, related with purity within you. So that's you have to pay a price according to. You have to make a sacrifice for that to get that. Those are very treasurable pleasures. Very refined, very, it can't be got by so that then it shows in your face also. It will show in your face definitely. Face is like a index of what is really going on, and one's eyes. So this is something you have to change to that. So normally it is said now, like you have a water, and if you put dye into the water, you can't see your reflection properly. So same way it is said, sensual desires, that you more experience sensual desires, your mind is filled with these sensual desires, you can't see reality, you don't get wisdom. You can't get concentration ability, power. So I tell today about modern phones and like this, if you really want to, this thing you have to cut your sense impressions just for your work. Like that you have to recognize first you're addicted and you're spending time, that in another form you're going behind dopamine and all that. You have to realize this. So otherwise you can't experience fine things in life. Fine things is not going to Hotel Hilton or I don't know here, Hotel Trump, I don't know. I am trying to find out which ones. So this is a different fine things. It's not fine food and all that. It's another value given by human beings themselves, not by enlightened beings. It's another thing, perception. Fine perceptions are really fine things. So as a human being, we have capable to increase those finer perceptions. So little bit we get is through college or studies. So that's still very limited. It's not kind of... so the olden days, the colleges they had in India especially, they had to live celibate because they knew the connection with that, how the brain power increases. Because the reptilian brain is working not in such a full way, then only you can have, sort of enough nerves to concentrate. It's not by other kind of external stimuli. So people try to do everything and then they try to find external ways to it won't do. It's from character. In programs I talk about how your skin starts shining and all that depending on your character. So these are, some people might think I'm trying to promote this body shop and all these things. It's actually, you can relate when you have lived such a thing to start to change your aura and your skin tone and everything. It's not by having a bath and applying creams and all that. Of course, you look like a dead dummy, you put all these things and then you can see the lifelessness in but because all are like same boat, so they all accept each other. So that's the problem. Otherwise, but then I hope we can make that turn the other way around, so that we can actually experience within ourselves that steadiness and growth and evolution towards a kind of a pleasant life and a wise life, and this should happen. So Mahastipadapana Sutta. I don't know how much time we have. All the organizers are not here to be seen. I don't know. Mahata kiyata tava kochchela tinada? 15 minutes. Do you all feel hot here?
No.
Little, eh? There's no way of regulating the...
Sometimes some doors are open, let me see if they are released.
Because when you read these things, you should not be uncomfortable. Must relax. You can try it at your home. Okay, I'm giving you some idea. Keep them near your bedside. Relax. And just relaxingly try to focus. Now, if you are in the reading, when you're reading, not only reading anything in your life, try to remind yourself, it won't come naturally. That's how your meditation starts, where you learn to be in the present moment. And you must know how to notice when you're in the present moment. Okay? So I normally tell that in the morning, have a routine. For you to develop in anything in life, you must have a routine. You must try to get up early, actually, that's very important. So after you get up, don't get up and go out. Alright? Because even people who have succeeded, who have become billionaires and all that, if you happen to chance to meet them and have a discussion, you find when they get up, they have, knowingly or unknowingly, they sort of empty their mind. They don't sort of start anything. they have a moment where they just empty, don't think of what is going to be done that day. And like that, they empty, and then they sort of bring, what I got to know was that they bring, like for example, what they have been postponing, what they know is essential that they must be doing, they just bring those things in that empty mind. Because they rewire their brain. And then immediately they start to do those things. That's why they have become like that. Others who say tomorrow, what you call that, procrastination or something, right? Okay. So that is a very big disease we all have, human beings. That's what makes people not progress, and so on. So that simple exercise you try, okay? If it doesn't work, that means you are not done properly in the morning. Make sure you just empty, don't get up at once. And so, because we have to clear these things. We can't otherwise, when we are defect like in that way, we can't start any journey. So after that, I tell people when they go out, if they know the benefit of sense control, sense desire, then you must see, not to see unnecessary things, hear unnecessary things. So initially to do that, you must get a high dosage of some inspiration. In the morning, when you must give some, we call it in the Buddhist teaching, like Buddha Lambana Piti. That's why I put this when I'm coming or going. You know, this I mix that also. That's necessary to create faith, create a kind of. So I normally say my programs are like in Sri Lanka, at least. Still, I can't get it here like that. Like rock concert. Yeah, it's because in the rock concert all the demons come. You know, high metal, dum bang, all this. If you can see the invisible world, all this, all sort of creatures are coming, and they smoke. You know, and then they all enjoy that. You know, that's another this thing. Now the other one, angels are coming. This is more powerful. And suddenly in the programs, very, you know, and then if you had things blocking you, taking you downwards, put yourself into another direction. So I know people, I have told there are reasons, the whole program has a kind of a operation, karmic operation. That this I think that's why I tell people to come, and sometimes people now they get to know how it should be done. So in your own practice also you must try to get like something inspiring. I know one girl, you know, when she's serving Pindapata, you know, she's carrying something, I don't know, it's like you know, like some music box or something, and there's this chanting going on. So I felt in one place when they were serving. Yeah, it creates faith, and then of course you need silence, but it's a good way. So when you're driving, if you can put something like that also, which is inspiring, so your mind is kept positive, then you will not feel tired. That's the main purpose. When you're doing normal activity, to do things in such a way you don't feel tired. So that initially in the morning, if you can do that, even some young boys, I said in Sri Lanka, in a village, I said in the morning, what do you do, you know, in the get up? Set එක දාගන්නවා අම්දුනේ කියලා. Set එක. In Sinhalese, I don't know. Set means they put this heavy metal one cassette. The young boys are, that's how they start their day. So I understand that, but it's important you can find something inspiring, which good vibration. It may be something not necessarily spiritual, but which gives you positive thinking. And then as a tool you can use that. And not to mean that to listen to that continuously, just to give you a start. And then I tell this compassion meditation in the morning. It's very good, you know, spreading compassion all over. And you put yourself in that, and then little bit breath, watching the breath. But you should not do these things for the namesake. You must get some hold of it. And you must forget the world around you. Now even those billionaires, they do unconsciously, you do it in a very strong way. So not to become a billionaire, because they are also intoxicated, you know, because they don't know any other thing to do, you know, they are all using drugs and all that. The reality is that, you know, all the other things, sex, drugs, all that in the extreme. And what's the point being billionaire? It's like the vultures, you know. What happened, vultures, they fly high, but they eat meat. Right? So they, anyway, so that's very important. You can do that, and you get that ocean of peace touched, and you some experience of it. Then you go out. Like you normally got to be fresh only washing your face and maybe putting makeup. Not boys, I mean girls, they then you go out. But now I tell also, now I get late for programs. I don't open the door. I also don't know when I'll open the door. So I tell, I'm also like ladies, because really, I sometimes think for everything it takes time for me. Being yogi or what, I don't know. So anyway, I see that, I tell also I am putting my makeup. Really, it is my makeup, my meditation makeup. Yeah, it's just we got used to so much. We don't just go, just do this. We make sure we develop a wholesome state of mind. When we move around, it's like this has been used to for so many years. So it becomes part of our habit. So anyway, this practice you must do, and when you go out, two things. Now you have got that peacefulness. You know that from the five senses only that peace is disturbed. So you must try to minimize that contact. So say you're crossing the road, you see the vehicles, you have to see properly. But you don't see who is inside the vehicle. Like that, this simple practice it's called sense control. And this is a very big practice to keep yourself, at a certain level pure. Then the other one is be mindful. When you're taking the steps, when you're going, just to observe the simple things. Your mind will go, I have to do this now, and what you have done, you have to remind yourself, no, let me observe this again. You have to remind. So when you anchor your attention to watch the simple things, you'll find a strengthening of your mind happening. That means stress will not come to you. Stress will run away because you become strong. Okay? Then when you sit in the car also, there's another opportunity. Everything should become a joyful, pleasant thing to be done. Even you are going to be taken for gallows, but now you are enjoying peace. And then the moment of that, you don't die before that, dying thinking about it. So this way, even for example, so you learn to see the blessings of anchoring yourself in the present moment and being spontaneous as you come there. Face this thing. That is already meditation. So when you don't feel tired, fearful, and over anxious, you are meditating. And you don't care about anything, you don't fear anything. You fear not meditating. I have many things to tell. I was with LTT, terrorists and all that. They all wondering, no arm, no gun, no nothing. How just coming, no shoes also. Boots and all that. This and they didn't know that there was another. Sometimes they told me one time, we are LTT, like, you're not frightened. Are you not frightened? Then that time I looked at them and said, in Sinhalese, okay, in language, those who knew some Sinhalese, until I have this strength, Shakti, I said, I'm not frightened as long as I'm having this strength, I told. They would have thought maybe I'm mad or something. This guy in the midst, because they have killed so many before, monks, and especially because, and some ask me, that they also tell, sometimes, like, then we had a monk, one monk's party, a political party in Sri Lanka, those days. Monks were involved in politics, okay? So in that party, they were sort of, very national and everything. So that was known among the terrorists. So when I entered that area, they suddenly told about them. But they themselves told the answer. Then they said there are like this kind of who are involved in politics. And then they said the Buddha has no kula mala beda, means no discrimination. The Buddha didn't have kula means like caste, mala, I don't know what, mala beda. Mukadda mala kiyanne? Mala කියලා දන්නේ මම මල වලට විතරයි. කුල මල බේද. බේද කියන්නේ discrimination. Okay? So other one I don't know. So they also told the Buddha, they also know Buddha is somebody who is so a universal person like Jesus or somebody. So then they also looked at me and said, we know you also don't have it. Otherwise I won't be in the midst of these people. So it was a nice time, many years back. I don't know, I'm going out of track now. Which one? Mahastipadoppana Sutta. It's more interesting to listen to me, even if the Buddha comes now, his words are here. is more interested to, because he's more closer to me. That's the other problem we have. Why don't we read the original, the 2,600 years ago? Because it needs a level of concentration. It needs a level of, so we are put off immediately. Okay? So that's why we need a certain unconditioning. Then only those visions can come. Then that's why they are like repetition, some of the suttas, so many we repeat, and then the possibility there, you get those glimpses. Then you are hooked to that. So before that, we will be wanting to go, be so interesting to hear to some other monk, here, there, the different ideas, even this thing. But that doesn't mean you're getting the original teaching, and that's real medicine. This is real medicine, and it will permanently change you. It happened to us, really, tell you honestly. So I don't look for any other books, even in the jungle, anywhere I take these books. But something happened, I couldn't read for many years. We'll go through one of them, and then I'll have to leave. I don't know whether I have to already leave. Mahasti Padupana Sutta 139, okay, 339. Just a little bit I will do. Did you all have your lunch? Not yet, some of you, my goodness. Did you have, what time, who didn't have lunch, did you have it, your breakfast around 10 or what time? 7, 8? 6? No, you all had lunch, right, who were in the retreat? Did you all have lunch?
Yes.
Some of you are not, I think. If you are very hungry, what to do? Just few minutes and you can eat. Friends, just as would be okay. Here, thus have I heard on one occasion, the Blessed One was, now I told you when you read these things, you relax. I was talking about that, like when you learn to do this in your daily life also, so that you're preparing your life to become enlightened, to see deeper truths. It's not some theoretical knowledge you'll always have or some kind of intellectual discussion, to make it a personal experience. Then you also enjoy the path, to have peace in your daily life, and you feel you have achieved something. Because you're happy about yourself. So when you drive the car, for example, feel the seat of the car. That's one way. The back touching the seat. You can feel also when you're seated now, the ground that is touching you. Okay? Just the simple things. And pay attention to what you hear immediately. Seems like nothing here, okay? So note that there's nothing, at least. If you keep on noticing like that, you will notice something else also, which you didn't notice now. What is that? Very closest to you. What is moving in your body really? So automatically you begin to notice the inhalation and exhalation. So that is when you begin to naturally notice that, you can have an idea you have come to the present attention. Okay? That's a sign that you have rest or relaxed enough that you are noticing your in-breath, out-breath naturally. Not because you now specifically try to notice it, no. When you relax, trying to sit comfortably and listen to the sounds and just try to bring your attention to the now, you'll be noticing the in-breath and out-breath as just an obvious thing. Be in that relaxation and then start reading. That's how you should read. Then when you're reading, you're trying to apply to you and visualize the Dhamma. Then your forehead start to work. You know that this thinking, this wisdom eye is related with the frontal cortex here. When you're reading and trying to understand, your stomach can't be moving or feeling anything. Or your back of the head, no. It is this forehead area. Okay? So it's actually, you are not trying to see through your eyes or the senses. It is a kind of a brain, I don't know how to say this, but in that frontal cortex only it is there. And more you are seeing like that, more you are having Dhamma perception, it is burning your karma like nothing. Before I told, it's not a small joke. When you sit in your room and just, you may do donation, give donation, this, that, do any very samadhi meditation or good meditation also where you feel in the forehead. This area only becomes cool and kind of free, even in samadhi. Okay? Here when you're analyzing, so even the coolness is burning karma in a very fast way. More you can sit and have that peacefulness, it's burning the karma, means main karma is made in the 5 sense world. Okay? So the 5 sense world karma gets quickly cleared and washed. Alright. So now when you, with that state of this thing, when you try to analyze the Dhamma teaching, then I told you now normally when you get that peacefulness and in samadhi, like you get adrenaline and other hormones when you get negative emotions, when you get like those peaceful states, something also get formed in the body. That's not in the normal medical, this is called ojas. In the yoga terms, they have idea, it's ojas. Ojas is also fine substance, known by, very fine, that it goes to the brain and opens up areas of the brain and gets deposited. Like adrenaline, it makes other thoughts happen, fearful thoughts and all that. This makes you have peacefulness, that very substance that is created in the body. Okay? So those thoughts increase those formation again. And that's what makes you shiny or charming. Because it is created by desireless thoughts, and the level of desirelessness. So it creates a very fine beauty substance or the charming nature. And more developed magnetic. Who have that, developed that, that's happening like that. There's no other way. I don't want to make other comments because just anyway. So now when you do analyzing, it makes a more potent, I told you, a more potent substance. It's called tejas. And that is really more finer substance and very potent, and it can create a kind of a mystical force. That's why those people who have developed that, when they command, when they say something, people follow. It's not just it makes, even after centuries, people start to still follow them. Because they make a kind of a very powerful impact. So to do that, you become a saint actually. What saints do, or people who have revolutionized, send humanity in a direction, they have so much developed that. So you relax, okay, and then now Buddha, when he explains in this sutta, it is said the elephant footprint is taken as a supreme footprint, big footprint, and then in that footprint you can put all other footprints. So the same way, this is Buddha's second disciple Sariputta Maharaj, he is telling that the Four Noble Truths, under the Four Noble Truth idea or the concept or idea, that all other ideas could be put in that. Because he's talking about that, what is the sufferings, that everything is suffering. So that's based on why everything is suffering, because everything is impermanent. Nothing in this world will arise, will not pass away. So suffering itself, if it will arise, it will pass away, then it's okay, it's good. But then you get happiness. But all happiness is not a happiness that will not pass away. It is also bound to pass away. With this knowledge only, everything is suffering. With happiness, when it's known that a feeling of happiness, it's a feeling that is going to definitely pass away. You can't expect some ice cream you're going to eat one day that is going to taste forever. It can't happen that way. But to be aware, conscious of it and realize that more and more deeply, then you have desirelessness for ice cream, or you will experience it, but you will have wisdom working rather than the temporary sensation. Okay, so that's why the noble truth of suffering is that so we have got used to suffering also. That's the problem. We have no other alternative experience. we can have now when you practice like this. So we see like that when pleasure is there, really you take it as happiness. But we don't realize that this is transient pleasure. So it's going to more suffering than the real other suffering. Like, there are nice ways, like say you have a dog or you have dog, of course every dog we can have a good relationship. Not like human beings. Human beings sometimes, like we get married, thinking somebody is like going to be, no one marries to become, to divorce, Does they marry like that? Maybe for visa or something. But I don't know, right? I don't know they do that, right? I think so. I don't know, maybe some comedy spirit is with me. I'm wondering what happened to me. Anyway. So, anyway, this is the fact, right? You don't marry to become kind of, but when you get married and then you go along, suddenly you see that, my God, this is a devil, I never expected this. So then it happens that, really you never expected all this and you have to separate. All right. So my teacher reasons out those days, say you meet someone, this is sad, really sad. Okay, then each person try to make each one jealous, like show that they have another good relationship, and it's like a very funny kind of psychological things. So then say you have a very good partner. Okay, it happens also. I met people, it sometimes happens, it's a like very rare situation too. So then, I think it's very, it's rare is that from personal experience. I can feel that with your laugh, For me, it's, I'm getting to know your world. Really. Yeah, really. So anyway, this topic seems to be very, very, so I tell you something. So you find somebody who really compatible and so on. So my teacher reasoned out one day person have to die. When we had a relationship like that and someone parts before you, or you part, how difficult to part such a relationship. And if that person parts, if you have to live after that, the suffering. So I told this to one old monk, who became a monk when he was old. I was telling this story. And he said, Bhante, you're very right. Because I have seen him lighting a lamp every evening. So to see, he had a very good wife. The wife is the one who brought him to the spiritual path. And then when he was brought to the spiritual path like that, so she got cancer and then she had to pass away. So he says, Bhante, that every evening I light a lamp for her. So she must be born somewhere and she's having another life. But here mentally, the person, that attachment. So better the divorce now. If you have a choice like that, what do you think? Definitely, right? So this is very something, sadness now. I'm getting signals. They want to make me always like I am the bad guy. Because they're all like, they are very nice people. They're like angels, But anyway, I want to make them fun with them also. Because they're making signal. I think I had to go for the program. So I had to go and take silence in my room and then go. So once with the retreat, I will do this very fast. Okay, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. So remember this now. All of you will very happy if you have a divorce also. And I don't know. Otherwise you'll forget this Bhante. We will not listen to this Bhante. Let's see. You'll try it out. One day you will know. So this, because of the impermanence of feelings, definite impermanence, the world is suffering. Okay, that's how the suffering truth is this thing. Because the sense experiences we are experiencing, Buddha goes to the fundamental nature of our body. How it's conditioned by impermanent causes. So this has to be impermanent then. What is one cause given to the body is food. Okay? Other cause is karma. So karma is also an energy, a kind of a transient energy. So it's like when they're supporting karma, the body goes on. Okay, when the death also happens, when that karma for that lifetime is over, then only, so that if it's over, it's over. Now, sometimes like my father, for example, when he had an accident and everybody thought he died, even my teacher, I told now they must have to write these things. Some people thought he will die very soon. And I left him, and all the devotees were very upset with me that time. I said, he lives long time, don't worry. And I went. No one believed it, and actually he lived more 5-6 years. I did my things and came back. So it is because then they said maybe I looked at astrology or something. No, I had some other ways of doing this. So there is a karmic for everybody now. Some people coming, I have cancer, like they're going to die very soon. I see someone very healthy is going to die very soon. Not that person, he's going to live long, though he has cancer here. So karma is, there's some karma, like even great yogis, they know their time, who have developed enough concentration. Like Swami Vivekananda, he said, I will not see my 40th birthday. 39, he passed away. So there is that a certain karma we bring in this life. The body is that, the body is a manifestation of that karma. So food is one cause and karma. So that these two are impermanent. So you can't have, this food is not sustained by something which is permanent. Therefore this body has to perish. So whatever development we make in other ways, if we can't find a body, if we can't make a way or a body which does not get aging, or these are main questions in life, main developments in the world. At least you can slow down the aging process. That's a big development, I would say. So it depends on lifestyle and state of your mind mostly. You can prolong, and so it's like these causes. So there's a time for one to pass away. So there is this karma behind it, an impermanent this thing. So therefore, the body or whatever feeling you get, it has a definite. So before it ends, you know it will end. That is wisdom. So when you have like that, you will not desire or indulge in the feeling, or you will not go to the memories you had already, the experiences. You will be detached from it. You will be detached from expectations of feelings. That's a real freedom. That's what all this Buddha's teaching is about. It makes you have that wisdom. It slowly makes you to see, that's why you have to really be laid back, and a lot of, like in your, rocking chair, you have to be in the fields and think. That's how the yogi, that's the process of really understanding. If you have a holiday one day, you can do that. But make sure that it will be really, that you have these thoughts, because if you do other things when there's no holiday, in the holiday you'll be preoccupied with all the memories of what you did. So make sure you try to live, also try when you're in the midst of sense objects. That means you try to not feel tired by exhausting yourself, by indulging, and discipline yourself, so that when you get so you have a pleasant time also in that midst of sense desires, that is having no, what do you call it, burnout, right? Is it body or mind? They call burnout? Mind, huh? Like stressed out and all that is something like, it's like burnout, okay? Okay. So, burnout, okay? So not getting burnout. All right? So you get burning. So you make yourself come to this particular, if you can get those habits, and daily in the morning you can, like sunshine, you can have a mental, that freshness, peace, you must get that into your life, in your daily, but even if you have to face any crisis, bring that tomorrow morning itself. And anything you addicted start, 3 days I'm going to stop this, then 7 days. Like that slowly you learn the blessings of removing any kind of, and being honest and seeing, putting the flashlight into you, and being humble to see your mistakes. That's the start of your journey. And if you have parents, try to be nice to them and really considerate. That's very important. Those good vibrations and considerateness, nature begins to look at you. And then your mind becomes harmonious automatically. They are very important things. And then don't get attached to pets and all that. I have other stories. If you want to raise them, you have to have that unconditional love. That means you can't be petting them and seeing their sweetie pookie paki. I don't know. Those things you can't see. This is like, you have created a kind of a psychological, then actually you are not helping that. you are lowering your consciousness. And so if you really, your unconditioned compassion and this meditation, that will raise their consciousness. That's the only possibility that you has for that, you know. So we can't be selfish. Other thing is really selfish thing we do. Not only with dogs, with other beings also, children, partners, everything. So you'll have to become like a monk, you know? And then, so it's quite a paradox how to do this and that. But you can try this, you know. We think this is like one lifetime you can do your best, you know. So, but I would say to prepare yourself to detach and enjoy that peacefulness. Don't delay that. Tomorrow itself, start, just sit down even and start, try. Chant a little bit. Then when you're driving, remind yourself. Get some books. Keep it at your bedside or at a working place. When you get short time, the toilet maybe, just read a bit. You know, like that you start. That will be a very big start. Better than going to jungle or Himalaya. So, really, yeah, you can do. I did a little bit like that. And bring that. Remember, I must be with those masters in my mind. Think to yourself, though my body is here, like that, be connected. Be connected. But when you're doing what they are doing, even in that place, you are connected. And so here, I told you to relax and look at yourself like from outside. Friends, what friends is the earth element. The earth now in the Buddha's time, they didn't look at it in terms of electrons. They saw this in terms of four elements: hard nature, soft, liquid nature, and heat nature, and then like this, you know, four natures. Okay, so it is. So it's like the cheekbone, my tooth. Like if I knock, it's the hard nature. It has more of hard nature. Like my spit and, you know, like blood has more what? Watery nature. Okay, so the hard nature here, what is in my space, which I call myself, and the hard nature of this mic here, is there any difference in terms of the nature? What do you think? So when you look like that, it's a special awareness you are trying to awaken. Okay? So that you have to do. First I told you like to relax and to feel your natural in-breath, out-breath. You can sit in, you should be sitting in a nice comfortable chair. And then and also you must go through this with idea of letting go and being relaxed. If someone is full of greed and who is clingy, very clingy, that person, it doesn't make sense this. So when you do this, when you try to do this exercise, you will get more relaxed. That's how it's done. So when you apply like that, the hard nature, which we call myself, like the earth element may be either internal or external. What is the internal earth element? Whatever internally belong to oneself is solid, solidified and clung to. That is head hairs. These are to be visualized, you know. Body, hairs, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews. So some color, you know, some idea, you just visualize them. Bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, intestines, mesentery, contents of the stomach, feces, or whatever else internally belong to oneself is solid, solidified and clung to. This is called the internal earth element. Now both the internal earth element and the external earth element are simply the earth element. Now this is an exercise of wisdom. You begin to see that they are both. Just because it's in one space, we call it mind. And if you take it outside, now for example, even your hair, for example, when it's in your head, you think it's my hair, very much, okay? So you cut it and throw it out with the sense of little distance. So why don't you, if someone has big hair, they can cut and make a wig and put it in somebody's head, okay? So it becomes that person's hair. So really, your real hair, can it change like that? It can't. So it's a mentally created, because of your attachment, the identity, a sense of self is given. So the sense of self is created by attachment. So I can tell you, like sometimes my taxi driver in Sri Lanka, the tuk-tuk, he's a young boy, he talks with the taxi. I was wondering what is he doing? He tells her, you have got food, my baby, you can now go, don't give any trouble. Wondering to whom is he talking? To see, he has created that kind of attachment with that junk of metal, and then it gives it an identity. Okay, same way we have given to this body. Okay, so that is extending. So we call it, it's like a perverted or some kind of, our perception is so, we are all with so much delusion that even this very full of muck and thing, and that we go to our children, to our husband. Without a body, we don't get that relationship also, right? That's why for relations, the body is very important when they die. They want the body because they have related themselves with the body. Even it dies somewhere far away, they want to bring the body and give a proper, they feel then only their mind is at peace. That person is born somewhere and he's living his own life here, people are in their own world. So that's very important to understand the idea of I, how it's coming. So now lungs, solidified, clung to. This is called the internal earth element. Now both the internal earth element and the external earth element are simply earth element. And that should be seen as it actually is with proper wisdom. This is not mine. This I am not. This is not myself. When one sees it thus as it actually is with proper wisdom, one becomes disenchanted with the earth element and makes the mind dispassionate towards the earth element. This is very important. That ego should dissolve. That you begin to see the truth of it, plain truth. Then the watery element it goes. Okay, so that's like the tap water or the blood that is flowing. If you must mentally go like that, and urine in your bladder, and when the urine goes into the toilet, they are like the same. So you just take one by one the heat element, and you will disappear. And then the body, the consciousness cannot arise without a body. Okay? So this way of thinking, consciousness can arise in free air, and can you put it in a robot? That's the big question. You can't create consciousness. Okay? You can create some kind of that's why we have with AI, information technology, that's a kind of, but that AI was created by a consciousness. So consciousness is the supreme complicated thing. You can't create something more complicated that AI will take over our consciousness. Is it possible? No, it is not. Okay, if that happens, I will disrobe and come. I can't stay here, I can play cricket. I like cricket in South Africa, so I have no other sport. It's not possible, I don't think at all, impossible. All this is wrong, so consciousness is life and everything is there. It's not a very, it's a very small thing we are trying to simulate, but it's very, so consciousness depends on body. It is not any localized anything. Now look, lizard, have you seen you cut a lizard? You find the tail shaking and all that. So what do you think? The consciousness is there or not? It's there. It's not some localized place you can, because of a localized brain is trying to put this knowledge in that. We are not trying to expand to, it's not easy to, you'll never find that way. Just to think it's brain area and study. It is, each organ the consciousness is arising. So there, the tactile part, the animal, it's working. So we can't tell, it's a condition arising, the consciousness. So it needs a body anyway. Okay, without a body it can't arise. So when the body is seen like this, as not me, okay, when you take for the four elements apart, then will the consciousness be you? What do you think? By inference. By inference, if the body is not me and the consciousness depend on this body, then can the consciousness be you? This reasoning important to think if you want to get enlightened. And then what happened? What you begin to see, it is, if the body is not you and the consciousness depend on this body, then can the consciousness be you? Like the body, let's take it one by one. The body is not you. You begin to know, right, that the four elements, you take them apart, that this is just a conditioned functioning thing. If it is you, you will not try to die at a certain time. You will not want to get sick at a certain time, you'll be controlling those things. All right? So now such a body, based on that body only we get consciousness. Okay? It takes that as a support. So if the body is not you, which anything that depends on the body, can it be you? You have learned now this, there's a lot of new people, they are now thinking originally. You also have to think originally. It's good sometimes for you to like know nothing and then try to know. Then only that real brain start to work. Sometimes for memory, Bhante told before no, so now we easy. It's like, you know, that original thinking you must also exercise. Yes, I think you have tried this retreat. So when you look like that, you will know the consciousness is not you by inference. Okay? So that must be more clarified in your vision. When that happens, when somebody comes scolding, that's in your consciousness, you feel, perceive and so on. Then you will be able to have that thought and keep it separate, not reacting. That's the purpose of this knowledge. And I did like that with an auntie who got angry with me when I was small. I have heard she gets angry, but when finally she came up with her nature, I was stubborn also one thing. I didn't ask her some place I want to go when I was under her. I said, I'm going. And it was dangerous, that particular thing. That so she just, she went scolding. And then slowly I have read this, actually I have read this sutta, this discourse when I was 18 that time. And I also had that time to apply. I already knew the way how these suttas are read, to apply and to get a vision of it. So that way I was already practicing that. So when she scolded, immediately that awareness, this thing came. So she looked, no reaction. Then it was the first and the last time she scolded me. So some people have tried with their husbands, wives, you know, that it has worked when they have told this. You can try with bosses, with your colleagues. You can try. This is very important. It should be tried so that, you know, not this wisdom is there, that your reaction will become less and less. You know, you not feel to react. Actually, you get angry because not that there's something positive in you. Because actually something weakness, some sadness, some difficulty. You know, a person who is getting angry doesn't look happy. He's really, there's some real stress and something inside him. That's why he's putting it out. Who is really joyful and really full of energy, he will not get angry. Now even a monk, if you keep him without food and without sleep, he will start to get angry. After some time. Hopefully has a lot of endurance to go on, keep. That's the yogi, develop, that has to happen. Otherwise, we don't know how. So this, I don't think I can go further, because not nice. I think these people, I must have some reasonable thing. Unfortunately, what to do, you know, because I didn't think you all will turn up like this. So I need some time. How long did I stay here from the time 1 hour, 1.5?
More than
2 hours. 2 hours? More.
No, that's 1.5.
Okay, that's good. Then my army is also here, so.
Getting a recording of the final day retreat.
That means tomorrow or when?
Tomorrow, I won't be able to make it.
I don't know, they're already making the recording every day. I don't know where the cameras. Today not there? I don't know. This one, no, maybe not. I'm not sure. They're recording. You have to ask the organizers, okay? But it's going to the YouTube or something, and then you can get. It will come a little late, maybe. You know, go to Sri Lanka and some committee, and then they will. What is this? Edit, check whether Bhante said something.
My body is silent, this is parachute jump.
But have you ever been to the? You know, you have so many airports. You can try it.
Sorry, one more question. What's the difference between the divine eye and wisdom eye?
Very good, yeah. Normally the divine eye sees your karma. You can see, it can know, like, you know. You can also know, like, that's why it predicts, like, you know, like it will happen, something will happen tomorrow this way, that way. and also your personal now present situation, what is going on. This kind of, it's all very open. Your entire soul information is gets open.
That way I can get some vibes that something will happen.
No, this divine eye. Sometimes we have spirits also coming to us who have divine eye. You understand? We have to be careful not to go to this too much. What you're seeing, hearing, and purify your system. Get to the meditation where you are leaving the gross body. That's very important. You feel light means you're sort of the samadhi, or this is your. Many people should try that. Then you are not influenced by this any kind of sensual forces. So you, if you're a meditator, it's safe. Okay, so don't be expecting those things. And the wisdom mind, you can, what you are now reading, try to have, to see things in the ultimate truth. This effort is very good. This will burn your karma, and if you had some potential of having divine light, they will also come up very fast because of this wisdom. Yeah. It's like an all purifying, all clearing brush. Okay, last, anyone, any question? What to do?
I have a question. How important are the Dharma to the care for understanding the Dharma?
Okay. Is there any doubt about this? What you're reading now? Even scholars tell about this is the oldest, if you can, Magadhi Bhasa, the language of the Buddha that time. Even scholarly way, it is known. This is like the oldest record of a living historical Buddha. So there are some things telling that Abhidhamma came later. In the but no need to have those things. So even one verse from this is enough for you to get enlightenment. So you can try this. Okay, try this. I think this is the safest way because this is the real map you have. I have my own personal ideas and my teachers, their ideas. I don't want to put it out. But you have this teaching, These are the oldest texts of the recorded Buddha. And for us also, I am not through scholars or anything. But if you meditate, you will know for yourself. So some things I feel, later commentaries and this thing, some things which you should understand, which you should not talk or you can't reason out. It goes beyond thinking. Even dhyana is beyond thinking. And because it goes beyond the five senses. When you give one thought only is dhyana, samadhi. So this one thought experience, also you can't talk about it. Buddha takes one of the unthinkable subjects. So insight knowledge is further unthinkable. It leaves even this one thought when that real wisdom comes. So you can tell the way, the path, but not too much about the explanation. So even this, if you try to find out how someone is getting enlightened and all this, like we are studying the rats, what happens to them, this we are more interested. Because it's, but I think that way of doing things will make you think more and not allow you to go for that attention and contemplation, which will make a personal experience for you. So make sure you just apply little by little the paths and, also start the meditation of emptying the mind. And then whatever thinking you must do, try to be influenced by the original, what the Buddha wants you to think, that level. Don't go too much thinking beyond that. Don't be without thinking. Okay? Keep that balance. So continue reading and applying. Were you there for the retreat?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I told a lot about, how to keep it as a kind of a good thing.
So you have to contemplate on this context, right, as Buddha does.
Yes, for us, if it's not clear to me, I have not come to this kind of teach to anyone. So I'm sure about it for me personally. So, and my teachers, they all, after so many years, they practice that way. This is good. This is more than enough. In a lifetime, it won't be enough. For one to, knowledge-wise, it's not enough. But for realization, knowledge it's not too much gathering knowledge. It's something, it's like, these are like signposts for your thinking, for your contemplation. So you have to, meanwhile, develop the ability to stay in the present moment, have a body awareness, and have the empty mind and have a peaceful, that you have to try to continuously strive for. And same time you must do the thinking, contemplation, you must read. If you only do that, you will just become like, peace but no wisdom. But for that, when you read, you have the wisdom, it will mix properly. But if you only read and don't do that, it will become intellectual and you will go to kind of, that's why I tell, don't try to squeeze the understanding. If the understanding comes, okay, then you go to another one. So it's like a bunch of keys. You have a lock. So now we have like a bunch of keys. We don't have the Buddha himself to give us the exact key. So what we have to try the keys. So if something is little tight, we don't pursue too much. We try the next one. Same way this is done. Okay? But this also happens to people. When they little bit turn more, they take this key and they try it more. Try to this thing. So then also it gets stagnated. So it doesn't matter, you try the key, keep it little separate because it seems to be closer than the other keys. But try the other keys, that means keep reading. There will be a key that suddenly will open. It doesn't mean you find the real key also, your lock also start to change. That means you start to change day by day. That same suttas you have read after 3 days, 1 week, 1 month, because your faculties are more calm and evolved, it will perceive what you didn't perceive before. You get this, yeah? Anybody else? All got enlightened now or what? වෙනවා ඒකට.
හැබැයි මට තේරුන්නේ ෆයිනල් බ්‍රෙත් එකට කන්සන්ට්‍රේට් වෙනවා කියනකොට ඒත් එතකොට අරමුණක් වෙනානේ ශරීරයේනේ ෆයිනල් බ්‍රෙත් එක තියෙනවා.
ඔව්.
ඒතර ශරීරයට අනාගත තත්ත්වයට පත්වෙච්ච කෙනෙක් ශරීරය ගැන හිතන්න බෑනේ. එහෙනම් එළියෙන් දකින්න ඕන ෆයිනල් බ්‍රෙත් එක.
ඔව් ඒ කියන්නේ මෙහෙම යට මෙහෙම දෙකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේක බ්‍රෙත් එකට තියාගෙන ඉන්න පුළුවන් නැත්නම් අරමුණකට යනවා. රහතන් වහන්සේ කෙනෙකුටත් එහෙම බ්‍රෙත් එකට ඇටච් නැහැ රහතන් වහන්සේම. ශරීරේ තිබ්බම මේක ඇන්කර් එකක් හැටියට තියාගෙන යන්නේ.
not inside.
ඉන්සයිඩ් කියන්නේ මේක නෝට් කරන්න හිතට මොකක් හරි අරමුණක් දෙන්න එපා.
ඒකට අරමුණු නැහැ ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ.
කාටද රහත් වෙනවද? අනාගාමීතුමන්ට කාම ලෝකේ අරමුණු නැහැ. එතකොට උන්වහන්සේට කාම ලෝකෙට අයිති කොටසක් තමයි මේ බ්‍රෙත් එක. හැබැයි මේ බ්‍රෙත් එක රහතන් වහන්සේ කෙනෙකුට පාවිච්චි වෙන්නේ නැහැ ලෝභ ද්වේෂ මොහත් එක්ක. ලෝභ ද්වේෂ මෝහ නැතුව මොකක් හරි අර මේ අර අන්තිම විඥානීය අනකල් පහළ වෙනකල් තියෙන්න ඕන තැනක තියෙනවා.
ඒක නහය කියන එක දැනෙනවා.
ඒක මේ රහත් වෙලා දැනගන්න වෙනවා. දැන් මෙතන ඉඳන් මේ
හරිය දැනෙනවා.
ඒක ඕක දැන් මොන හරි ඕම දැනගන්න බලනවා නොවි ඒකනේ වැඩේ. ඒක අර කරන්න ඕනේ මේක මේ රහතන් වහන්සේ කෙනෙක් දැනගන්න නෙමෙයි. මේක අර විඥානයේ කන්ඩිෂනැලිටි එක තේරුම් ගන්න.
ෆයිනල් බ්‍රෙත් එක අපිට මේ දැනෙනවා නහය.
ඒක මම දන්නේ මාත්‍රා මේ ආත්මේ ඒක මෙහෙ නැහැ මම බලන් දෙනවා. මම ඒව ස්පෙකියුලේට් කරන්නේ දැන් ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන් ගියාම ඒක දෙයක් වෙයි. ඒක එහෙම බලන්න යන්නේ මේ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන ආසාව නැති කරන එකයි මේ ප්‍රඥාව ඇති කරන එකයි. එතකොට අවශ්‍ය ක්ලේශන ඔක්කොම විදිනකොට දෙයක් වෙයි. හරි මාර්ගෙ ඉන්නේ. තෙරුවන් සරණයි. All blessings, okay. And I must remind again, ones who are staying, who have done the retreat, please maintain silence, okay? Now,
Bluetooth connected.
the thing is, though I don't look strict and all that, don't take it for granted. All right, please, I'm telling you all, do this practice for your own good that you have done so long, and I want you to get the maximum benefit. Even few hours here, try to separate yourself alone. And especially I have told, try to avoid the people you know. Because if for you to plainly, now something you're going to achieve something in this direction, that one connection can, make your whole life only for this retreat, only for these few hours. Okay, try to do that. Okay, otherwise in vain. I see this is your chance. I'm sure you have got already something. I can see your body's feet. What is this? I told you after 5 years, 10 years, you will become younger. Okay, continue to keep this going. Do it daily. Don't be drained out. And hopefully you will do that, and you'll never regret for that. You will regret the other way. Now, people who are in that way, they are always thinking, before I die, I must do something. Before I die, that's working in their heart. One day in Kathmandu, I was kept in a hotel, and this old gentleman, German gentleman, I know, he was drinking, doing everything. He was like next to my hotel room. So suddenly he saw this monk, I have taken dana in this restaurant, the agency, they were giving me food. And he was fully intoxicated also. So he came to his senses, he really spoke out his heart, and he told a Buddhist monk, before I die, I want to, no one wants to die in that condition. They have a sort of feeling, that I must become better and die. Okay? So, anyway, this is, you have got this great chance, do it, be an example to others. Whoever has that, they will also be touched. This whole world is like one family, remember that. That everybody having the same body feelings, perceptions. When I land in, airports and all that, when I see a old person, I say, oh, I'm sad and happy both. I see the same truths working in each land, each place. It's the same sensual world, the same bodies with pressure, only some language, something different, but basic things of pain, pressure, and these people wanting happiness is the same. So you wish them all good luck always and strength, especially being someone who knows the master, the Buddha, and any other good masters who have followed this way, knowing these beings, being one with them or trying to connect to them and their wisdom, definitely you have a duty to spread those good feelings to others. Even if you can't give them anything tangible, you can give them something from your heart. St. Francis also gave something from his heart. He was asked to do that. Yeah. So I was inspired those days. There's some like a beggar-like person all reminding his calling, right? Right. Then he said, "What can I give you?" That one time he said, "Something from your heart or something," right? I don't know. Yeah, that's right. The kindness and the things from the heart, gifts from the heart, and all this good karma. Think of your parents, relations. Even just listening and getting positive thoughts and some wisdom, something, some knowledge, all that good karma, your parents, relations. And there are hardly any being who has not been your relations in this, gone to Buddha, so many lives that we are born, all have been one time or the other, your mother, father, or some relations. So from the lowest worlds to the highest worlds, may they get the share of this good karma, so that they will never come to a state of suffering, but will go from happiness, to highest peace and power. May they get this strength. And the four divine protective devatas, King of God, Sakka, Sampati, Brahmadi, Virajan, all Brahmin, King of all the Brahmalokas, who are protecting this noble teaching. Ishwara Munivaru Siddhala, Gandharvaru, Bhairavu, Naga, Nagin, Devasenadipati. Okkama Uttama Atma, all the noble souls who are protecting these great, pure teachings of liberation to humanity. And finally, the great master's final motive to remove the suffering of humanity, living beings, finding the way out of greatest compassion. May that be shared by all living beings. May they get the strength, may they experience the great masters, their saints, their holy feet again on this planet, giving inspiration and strength to all living beings. Prashna people in this country too, and the leader of this country. May they have God's grace, guided so it affects the whole planet too, and all other leaders in these other countries. May they be guided and release the force of